Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video guide for Valheim. In this video, folks, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about hunting. So, I'm going to start off with how hunting works, and I have got a dagger in my hand, and so the way we're going to use this is we are going to sneak up behind the prey and basically just one-shot them. This time around, I'm going for the boars, and just as with Skyrim, you do have a sneak ability, so basically you crouch by pressing the left control key and then sneak up behind your enemy or prey in this case, which would be the boar, and one-shot them. That is a perk of using the dagger. It does one shot. It has quite a massive buff with the sneak, so that's why you want the dagger. Now, of course, if the boar sees you, as you saw there, turned around, spotted me, it will become aggressive and come towards me. Also, when you are sneaking around, you can see that my stamina bar is draining. So if you need to sneak for a long time or period, it does pay off to have the food buffs, as the food buffs will increase your stamina as well as your health. Health, of course, isn't necessarily a big thing, and as you sneak around more and more, you will, of course, improve your sneak ability. Right there next to me, you saw the flint. Of course, the dagger is a flint dagger, so you will have to gather a flint, but I'll show you that later on in the video. First, we're going to show the mechanics of actually hunting both boar as well as deer with the use of a dagger. So there is some deer there that I don't want to scare off. We're going to be careful to try and sneak behind them. We did scare one of the deers off. So when you hear that noise, you'll know that there is deer around. So I'm being careful to see where the deer is looking. I'm sneaking behind them. So that noise you just heard right there, that is the noise of the deer. And one shot from the dagger. We wait for the magic cloud, and then we get hide, meat, and of course the trophies, which of course will be useful for getting the first boss fight. So once again, we've got two deer right there. Trying to be careful with the sneak. They haven't seen me. Try and get the second one as well, and I'm hoping to get a trophy as well. No, we just got meat and hide, which is fair enough. That is quite useful. We can craft other things later on in the game. Of course, you also want to pick up some berries. That will be very useful because that will act as food, which you can then use to eat and increase your stamina and health. So that is what I was on about earlier on in the game. Now let's talk about how we get the flint, because of course we will need the flint in order to craft the dagger. So the flint can be found next to any body of water. The map can be very random, so basically you want to find a body of water, whether it is a lake, a river, it doesn't matter, but that is where you want to go looking for the flint. The flint looks like a very flattened egg type of thing. It is white or wider than normal stone. So see if we can find another one down this path. Right there in front of me there is some flint, so it looks like that. We grab that as well, and basically that is how we get the flint. Once you have the flint, you want to come back to your workbench, and over here you will find the flint dagger, which you can craft. And of course the flint dagger will require you to have flint and wood. So let's have a look right here. Where is it? And as you can see, to craft the dagger we need the flint, wood, and hide scraps. And the hide scraps we get by killing the boars. Boars are fairly easy to kill because they kind of become aggressive if you get too close to them, and if you have an axe, it's easy to hunt them down. Now let's craft the dagger. That I've got everything. Also with the meat, what you want to do over here is you want to put it on your cooking stations and wait for it to cook. Of course, if you let it cook too much, it will turn into charcoal. So I'm going to show you the video or visual and audio cue that we're looking for that tells us that the meat is cooked. So it does take a while. It is very good to be around it so that you can actually pick up your food and not let it cook for too long. So right there we saw the visual and audio cue. We interact with the cooking station to basically take the meat off of it, and we place some more meat on it from all of the stuff that we hunted down. So that's pretty much how hunting works. That's why you want to hunt. This is another type of food, and as you can see in my lower left corner, we have 3 squares stack on top of each other, which means that is a food that we are buffed by. We can stack food, and by stacking food we get more stamina and more health. So stamina does help us with sneaking as well as taking more damage, as of course our health bar will be higher. Now we have the workbench right here. We can craft a dagger, we can craft a bow as well. With the bow it is slightly different, but if we're going to craft a bow, we can also craft some arrows. All we need is wood for the arrows. It is good to have a bow because you can hunt your prey at a long distance. However, with regards to using the bow, it is a bit more difficult because normally you'd expect the arrow from the bow to land wherever the crosshair is. Well, that's not the way it works. The way it works is you have to use your crosshair as a way of aiming, but depending on how far it is, you have to account for the drop in the arrow. So I'm going to show you what happens if you leave something to cook for too long. We're going to make some charcoal. This is the first time I'm making charcoal, so that should mean that of course I will also unlock some new recipes. So quickly pick these up, put some more stuff there. We've got some tails from some creatures that we killed. I'm just going to try and clear out my inventory, drop some things off that I don't really want to have with me. So we don't want the trophies, and I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll keep them there. So we heard the cue right there for the food being cooked. I have 3 daggers. I don't want to have 3 daggers with me because I want to equip the bow. So I'm going to drop some of these and put a dagger in here for later usage. Of course, you can increase the durability on your items as you basically increase your skills, and you do that by advancing your base. You just saw right there, you heard the cue for the charcoal, and we now have some charcoal. By making charcoal, we have unlocked some new recipes. Now let's talk about using the bow. Right there we have a deer, so I'm going to try and take it down with the bow for the very first time. So let's quickly pick up the bow, of course. I'm gonna try and aim high. I am fairly close to it. Of course, as you can see, you have a little circle right there that kind of closes in. That tells you the strength of the arrow, the speed of the arrow. We didn't take down the deer, so we'll grab all the pieces. However, depending on how far you are from your prey, you will want to aim above their location. So normally I use the health bar as a guide, and so the way I work it out is if I am at a fair distance from my prey, I will basically use the prey's health bar as a place to put the crosshair, and then I fully load up the bow. So I basically let the circle close into its smallest reticle, if that makes sense, before I release. The further away I am, the higher above the health bar. So it takes a bit of playing around with it until you get the hang of the drop on the arrow, but once you get the hang of it, it is quite an efficient way of hunting, and you are less likely to scare off the deer, which of course will then result in hide and of course meat. With that being said and done, I hope that this was useful. This is a beginner's guide aimed at people that have just picked up this game and are probably struggling with this aspect of the game, especially when it comes to using the bows, as they can be a bit iffy. Yeah, it's one of those things where, one of those mechanics where you need to get used to how it works, and you have to kind of see how the arrow drops. With that being said and done, that is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself, and if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on the channel. Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethum Discord. A link to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description. And until next time, stay safe, folks.